Fantasy Football Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to TOT&HAM, the weekly show from Planet FPL where we talk about Tottenham and West Ham in a little more detail. My name's Serge.
My name is James.
I support West Ham. James supports Spurs. And we have a tendency to rabbit on about our own clubs in our main FPL podcast a little too much. So we have this little spin-off show. We were at home at the weekend. You were away. So you watched on telly and I was there. Where do we start?
I was in a pub garden for some reason.
Outdoors in the freezing cold
Decided
winter.
it was quiet inside, so I thought I'd watch it outside randomly.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great day. Should we start with your lot?
Because let's do it.
You reckon you didn't see any protests or anything?
I didn't see any protest.
Okay.
And there was nothing really going on inside the ground at all that I particularly noticed.
So the protest
There was one guy that ran onto the pitch. Actually,
really?
Yeah,
so the security is still improving then?
But no, I don't. Okay, this is going to sound really bad. I think it was a kid. I think he was like 10 or 11. If he wasn't a kid, he was dwarf or midget or whatever the politically correct term is.
I can
confirm me for not.
that I was not at the London Stadium on Saturday.
Yep.
Surely that's even worse, isn't it? Letting a kid on.
I think it was a kid. It was on for like literally seconds. He didn't make it very far or anything. But I felt from where I was sitting, I thought he looked like 10 years old or something, mate. And just ran around for the glory. But he was running around for a laugh, not like it wasn't a protest. Didn't have a flag or anything. It was just comedy value that he ran on for like 3 or 4 seconds or whatever. But I don't know where the march was. I didn't hear anything about it on Twitter. Doesn't mean much. I didn't log into Twitter before. Had no intentions of going down there. No one sitting around me was talking about it at all. Other than, oh yeah, I heard there was supposed to be some sort of protest today and didn't see anything at all.
So the protest was to commemorate the 10 years of Golden Sullivan's reign of, can we call it reign of terror?
Nah.
No, not really.
Not
reign,
at all.
Reign of anything.
There's nothing wrong with what.
How do you feel about them? We did speak about it a bit in the summer.
Look, if you think about the move to the London Stadium, albeit it's not the ultimate stadium, what we're getting for the price we're paying, you can't argue with that, and it's allowed us financially to compete and be in this top 20 Deloitte League and what have you. So I understand the need to move to the London Stadium, and look, if we have to be there another 10 years or whatever and then we get a purpose-built stadium or whatever happens, I'm not worried about it. Have they put their hand in their pocket in the last couple of summers? Yes, they have. They spent money on Felipe Anderson, they spent money on Allaire, they spent money on Fornals and what have you. So they've been buying players. The thing you could be maybe slightly, could you be slightly critical of their managerial appointments? Pellegrini came with a pedigree and he had an all right first season, so I don't think you could criticise that. Bilic had a couple of really good seasons, got us up to 7th and then faded away. Moyes, when he came in, kept us up. So none of those managers maybe have been a young, hungry, up-and-coming manager that you think, okay, they've got a plan for the future. It's always like a 3-year plan, maybe. So that's one area you could be critical. Is the club run professionally? If you look from the outside in, the match day experience and everything that goes with it, I think is good. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them. Like so many. What would you expect? What would we rather have? The Arab sheikhs coming in and spending $1 billion? Would that make the fans any happier?
I'll tell you what, there's an interesting debate. How would we feel if tomorrow our clubs were bought by a Sheikh Mansour-like character?
We were bought by an Icelandic billionaire. That lasted long, didn't it?
He ran out of money very quickly, didn't he?
That lasted long, didn't it? So
Egert Magnusson, was it?
I can't even remember. But there was so much excitement around it when he came in that he was a billionaire, scratched beneath the surface. And how many billionaires have $1 billion in cash lying around? Not many. So it's still financially, you've got to be at a very interesting level. I'm all for slow and steady, stable growth and put infrastructure in place, but I'm not for splashing tons of money. I look at Leicester, and their owners are rich, but they're doing it the right way. I'd rather be a Leicester than a Chelsea, for example, in terms of the way we spend money and build a club and a philosophy.
When Spurs started having a very good run under Pochettino, there was great pride in the fact that we hadn't done it through spending money that we didn't have or anything like that. You look at the model of Manchester City, for example, it's obviously very self-sufficient now, but they obviously went from spending nothing to everything almost overnight with the Robinho deal in 2009, I think it was.
Yeah.
I feel like, unfortunately, everything in football now is so focused on the now.
Yeah.
If you could say to me now, Jose Mourinho, stop laughing at the back, is going to have this master plan that we're going to play nice, attractive football and develop young players, and in 5 years' time, it means we can regularly challenge for a league title again, sign me up. I think most people would rather go, no, I need that FA Cup right now, this season. And that's kind of in me as well. That's where I'm at, say, with Mourinho, is like, okay, if I got to watch this turgid stuff, you got to bring me a trophy straight away.
Yeah. We've been in the Premier League now 7 seasons or whatever it is, 6-7 seasons consistently. In their 10-year reign, we had a relegation, but we came back up straight away. I can stomach that. So yeah, I'm not overly unhappy with them. I think they're trying to do the right things. The club's moving forward. I think we are moving forward, but of course, with a lot of clubs, there's this issue of expectations. Are the expectations greater than they should be? And I think they are for so many fans, as always. But I don't have a problem with Gold and Sullivan. They don't choose the players. They put their hand in their pocket to buy certain players. I think that there have been duff buys. We've all got them in our history. So yeah, I haven't got a problem with it. What do people want? Honestly, what do the fans want more?
All right, what do you want from West Ham?
So the issues around Pellegrini were a few things. Let's put it into 3 areas. Firstly, laziness, the work rate, like so static and immobile, and the work rate wasn't there. And if you don't match a team on work rate, you're already lost. Doesn't matter on quality at all. It's a work rate. The second was the basics. Like, we didn't seem to do the basics well. Like, pass the ball 3 yards to a player. Just pass the ball, pass and tackle, basics, right? And then the third is attacking creative football. That's like the icing on the cake at that point, or the cherry on the icing on the cake. Is right, okay, if you're working hard and you're doing the basics, then let's see some free-flowing, creative attacking football. The work rate has improved under David Moyes, no doubt about it. And I think Noble and Rice in any game are putting a real shift in. And I think it really showed on Saturday. Everton didn't have a lot of space in front of our box at all. Rice is really putting in the yards at the moment. So the work rate is up, definitely, for all around the pitch. The other 2 areas, the quality of passing was atrocious on Saturday. The amount of times we gave the ball away when we didn't need to give it away was a real, like, come on, man. This is I'm not moaning at you for missing a shot from 35 yards out. I'm moaning at you for missing a 3-yard pass. Haller was particularly guilty on Saturday, and it was a case of, look, you're a great hold-up play, but if you get drops down to your feet and then you can't lay it off to anyone, useless.
Is he any good?
Nah.
Oh, right. So that's where it's at.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't given up in that there isn't a good player in him, and he's had good games. The last thing about creative attacking play, we've seen in phases and periods, but there are too many. There are a handful of journeymen there. Like Lanzini is being carried at the moment. Like Anderson, when that game against Bournemouth, playing up top off the shoulder and being given the freedom and space, can create that. We need that there. Fornals tries. Snodgrass really always puts in a shift. But other than that, yeah. So we've got work rate. I want to see the basics improve. When the basics improve and we can pass the ball, and see, Everton did the basics way better than we did. Like when they had the ball, they retained the ball much better than we did. They had less of it, but they retained the ball better. They just really had no creative option up front. So what do I want? I want to see a team that work hard and do the basics, and then a bit of icing on the cake. Yeah.
Extension of question. What do you want from West Ham beyond the match day experience in terms of your expectations of the club longer term?
What's long term for you?
All right.
5 years?
Between now and 2025.
I have to think about what year we were in for a second there. Yeah, 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So in the next 5 years, if we finished every season top 8 and chuck in one trophy, and I'm happy for it to be the Mickey Mouse Milk Cup or whatever it is, I would take that. Top 8 consistently for the next 5 years and one trophy, I would be like, that would be amazing. I'd take that all day long.
Is that realistic?
So top 6 is, we've got 6 big clubs there plus Leicester now, so it's almost extended to top 7. But yes, I think it is. I think it is realistic because of the money we have to spend compared to the others. So who else is in that space that could challenge for that 8th spot?
Everton, Wolves straight away spring
to mind. They are
Sheffield United at the moment.
So it's not easy, but it's achievable. But I think we need the philosophy of football and structure within the club needs to go deeper than like 1 week playing 3-5-2, next week playing 4-4-3, then changing the formation all the time and getting players because they're available as opposed to players that fit a system. You know what Sheffield United do or Wolves do or whatever. So we need a philosophy that goes deeper than just that surface level, what we see week in, week out. And then it is 100% possible. We're a London club. London has a lot of attractions for players. A lot of players would rather be in London than not. We have money. We're in that top 20 league for a reason in terms of revenue, and we've not been too shy to spend it. Out of all of the other of the Newcastles, Evertons of the world, we spend as much as any of those clubs do. So we're not far off. It's just like that fit from players to manager. Finding the right fit is what will take us up to that next level.
Okay. Antonio.
Yep.
With his dance. Stupid dance.
Yeah.
We believe he's back for Leicester.
Yes.
Where do you think he'll play? And does he go straight back in? And is it at the expense of Haller?
No. If he goes in, I don't think he'll go straight back in because he came back, had a couple of games and had to go again. So I think they'll nurse him back in. If he plays, he'll play up top with Haller. And that's what happened before, so I think he'll play up top with Haller, and the sacrifice would be Lanzini. If it was me, I'd drop Lanzini.
Well, I think the sacrifice is creativity, isn't it? So you're probably looking at more withdrawn to wide players of probably at the moment Fornals and Snodgrass, who both want to come in onto their favoured foots and naturally come inside anyway. I think that's the sacrifice to play the two up front together, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't mind that as a style of play.
Because I don't think neither Haller or Antonio are going to play as 10s, are they?
No, Antonio is the only one that will drop a bit
deeper. They're going to play as a pair.
Yeah, but I would sacrifice Lanzini. And, so Leicester have got a bunch of creative players there in Maddison and Barnes and Prayer and Tielemans, whoever plays. But I would put faith in Rice to say, you know what, hold and cover the ground because he is mobile, and then let Noble push forward a little bit more rather than 2 sit deep. If we're going to go after these games like Leicester, we can't have Noble and Rice sitting in. We need Noble to be further forward and linking up the play a little bit more. So I would get Ricey to sit deeper, push Noble up a little bit more now that Lanzini wouldn't be in that hole, and then play the 2 up top. Could work potentially better.
How did the keeper get on? Obviously,
perfectly
Darren
fine, mate. The goal was sloppy defending. I don't think he's at fault for the goal in any way, shape, or form. Anything and everything else he did, perfectly fine. His kicking's not like great. You look at Jordan Pickford and he boots it, I think 3/4 of the pitch. Randolph barely got it halfway a few times. I don't know if the wind was a problem or not. It was a bit of a funny weather day, but like reassured. I had no panic attacks when the ball's coming into the box, no stress. Plays it back to him, he can pass it out. Randolph is perfectly fine. I'm happy that we got him.
Your mate's left, doesn't he?
Who?
Roberto.
Did he? Where's he gone? I haven't even
He
checked.
doesn't even know.
I'm going to the London Stadium for his leaving party today.
I think he's already gone.
I think if I put out on Twitter or like one of the famous bloggers, X or whoever, put out leaving party for Roberto, more people will turn up to that than fucking Golden Sullivan's protest. I tell you that.
I think it was Alaves. I think maybe he's gone on loan for the rest.
Good
of
luck,
the
God
season.
bless. That's all I say. to Alaves fans, not to Roberto. Yeah, I mean,
They don't know what they've got coming, do they?
no, but I mean, is he going in there to be first choice?
I don't know. Who cares?
I'm going to keep an eye on it though, for sure. Yeah, I felt reasonably reassured. It's not. There's not a big jump from where the likes of we are or Everton are. It's just that little bit of chemistry between managers and the team. It just needs to click. And you've seen it with teams like Bournemouth and Wolves. When it clicks and the manager and the team structure's right, they can really get a good head of steam.
You can also
momentum.
see by Bournemouth when it doesn't click.
Yeah, when it doesn't click. You can look at us when it doesn't click.
Yeah.
I mean, as well as much as better as it's been, we're still touching distance, mate. 3 points. Okay, we got a game in hand against Liverpool. Great. So we're not by any means out of it. And the jump up to Everton and Newcastle is 6 points now, 23 to 29. It's not one win, it's 2 wins. That psychologically is much
Everton
bigger.
won't be in any danger of going down.
No,
Ancelotti now.
I'm just thinking
No.
about where we psychologically can feel like we've got some breathing room, and it's 2 wins up to where I would feel comfortable, not 1 win.
I think short term, you need to. You're on 23 points. I'll tell you what, mate. If you come through these 2 games and you've got an extra point on the board and keep you at sort of 24 points from 24 played, is what you'd be. That's okay. Then you're at the run rate of 38. Now, we discussed on the main podcast last night that 38 might not be enough this year.
We're playing Manchester City in the first half of the split game week, which is the 8th of February away. I wanted 7 points from the start of January until then. We picked up 4, a draw with Everton and a victory against Bournemouth. So a win against Brighton, which is on the 1st of Feb,
Does you the job.
does
in my
us the
opinion.
job. But yeah, 1 point out of these 2 plus a win at Brighton. Well, it's at home, but a win against Brighton. And I'll feel, you know what, from that period of tricky fixtures, we've got what I thought we would get.
And then
Let's get the
into a
City
better
game
run.
out of the way, and then let's assess where we are from there. It's what I feel about it.
Okay. Spurs League season is absolutely done. As I said, it was 3 months ago.
I mean, yeah.
Although, and
How
actually,
many points are you
annoyingly,
guys on now?
I don't
30,
I
31?
don't know. I really don't know. We on 31? I don't know. Rather annoyingly, Chelsea keep losing. Like, it'd almost be better if Chelsea had gone a run of like three consecutive wins or something. You go, all right, they're 17 points clear or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they keep slipping up and are only managing just about better than 1 point a game themselves over the last 13, I think we said last night. You think, oh, I don't know, man. Because they're walking into that run of 4 fixtures now of Arsenal, Leicester, United, Spurs. Only Leicester is away from those 4, which we'd always highlighted that block of 4 fixtures and went, if they perform well over those 4 games,
Yeah.
they'll almost certainly finish top 4. And I think if they perform badly, they'll still finish top 4.
Yeah.
Because it sounds ridiculous. They've actually got more consistency than the others who
Anyone.
are challenging.
I mean, you look at the table, how far behind Liverpool, the likes of you and Arsenal are. I mean, Liverpool are in their own league. They're 64 points. Spurs, 31. 33 points.
What are Chelsea on?
Chelsea are currently on 39, so there's 8 points between you and Chelsea.
Is that it? 8 points. That's it. Top 4, locked in.
8 points is still quite a big jump up. I mean, United are on 34, so they're 3 ahead of you. But Sheffield United on 33, Wolves on 34, Manchester United on 34, and then Chelsea on 39.
The reality is, since Mourinho walked in the door, we've only made up 3 points on Chelsea in spite of their far from consistent to contradict run that they've had over the last third, if you will.
Yeah.
So we're no closer. And obviously with now the Kane injury, Mr. Sissoko injury, which is rather understated in terms of his importance to the engine room in midfield, because it's the one quality he certainly does have, particularly actually defensively as well.
Yep.
Is a blow. There's obviously lots of transfer rumours at the moment. Spurs appear to be looking at a loan. I saw an article in the Daily Mail about an hour ago that Gareth Bale is odds on to return to Tottenham.
Odds on.
Stop making me laugh. I've covered this over old ground so many times over. Eriksen is still definitely going to Inter Milan. I do expect there will probably be another attacking incoming. I'm probably not expecting anything more than that. Whether that will be a loan signing or another attacking player, I really have no idea. Spurs and Man United at the moment are going to get linked with everybody under the sun, aren't they? Because of these Kane and
Just
Marcus
looking at
Rashford
your fixtures
injuries.
now. So Norwich at home tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Which you have to win.
No, well, I've said that quite a few times this season.
Then Manchester City. Then Villa away. Definitely a winnable game. Chelsea away. I don't know if that's not really a 6-point or fourth place decided, because I just don't think you're in the running.
No, neither are we.
I mean,
at
at
the moment.
31 points, we talk about Newcastle and Everton being on 29. I mean, Arsenal on 29. That's only 2 points off.
Exactly.
You guys. You lose a game and suddenly, imagine dropping below. I don't want to paint nightmares for you, but below Newcastle, Everton, and Arsenal in the week. That's just
the team that's
actually puts
Chelsea
it in
are on
context.
39. Yeah. Really, the team that's fourth at this stage of the season should be knocking about 44, 45 points, really. So I say it's a low total, and then it's still a drop down from Chelsea to other challengers.
Yeah.
One huge boost for Spurs coming up is that tomorrow night looks like, and I don't got the confirmed team news yet, but Hugo Lloris took part in full training yesterday. I don't think he'll play against Norwich, and I don't think he'll play at Southampton in the Cup, but he might well be back for that Manchester City fixture. And whatever people's thoughts on Hugo Lloris, it is certainly an improvement on Paulo Gazzaniga. But as I've been told several times over the last few days, do give the guy some credit for his penalty save at the weekend. And I shall, but it was an awful penalty from Troy Deeney. Like, you know, all you got to do is dive the right way there, haven't you? You know, 50% chance of saving that, basically, with the way he's taken it.
Yeah.
If I'd have dived the right way there, I'd have saved it.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably would have been head height for me. But
It wasn't tricky.
I'd have headed it away.
There's some tricky fixtures coming up. I mean, City, Chelsea, even Wolves when you're playing at home, Manchester United, and then obviously, the West Ham follow at the end of March. So I think it just looks tricky, and you can easily see Spurs slipping up in some of these.
I mean, you see Spurs slipping up in any game at the moment. Like, I think Norwich will come to us and have more of the ball tomorrow night. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all, particularly if we were to score early. And I think the way some of their players pick up the play in between the lines in ways that Brighton have damaged us in games this season, it gives me a little bit of fear, actually. Like, I don't know where we're going central midfield-wise. I said on the pod last night that I think there might be a slow movement towards a 4-3-3, which I think currently would be a midfield three of Ndombele left, Winks centrally, and perhaps Fernandes right.
And leaving Dyer out.
Yeah, I mean, Dyer's shot, mate. He's shot.
We had a question on the pod yesterday in the Twitter questions that I didn't ask, mainly because I think it probably needed a bit of clarification. But somebody said, James, would you give up your Champions League run last year to have your Spurs back? And that second half of that question, to have your Spurs back, what is your Spurs? Like, is it the
Spurs that went on that run?
Well, yeah, I mean, in amongst that, you're playing average, bog average. So define what it means to have your Spurs back.
I don't think so.
I don't think you'd ever give up that run, surely.
I couldn't give up them nights in. I mean, even go
Amsterdam
back to the group stage.
Yeah.
I was in the Nou Camp when Moore equalised. It was incredible. The night at Wembley against Dortmund was great in the last 16. The nights at the Etihad and Amsterdam, I was blessed to be at both of them.
Yeah.
Like, to give them up.
Impossible.
I mean, I've been going all over this country for 30 years, and inside a month I had my two favourite away games back to back. Like,
Yep.
So to give up those memories, no, I don't know. It's a tough one though, because how long have I got to put up with this?
Yeah.
If you said it's going to be like this for 10 years,
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, do you know what? Give me my Tottenham 16, 17.
Yeah.
That's the more. If you said to me, right, you're going to have the Tottenham of 16-17 with the way we played, plus 60 goal difference, scarcely believable. For a whole season again, yeah, I might maybe. But like the Etihad and Amsterdam, Spurs fans will be talking about them 2 nights for forever. They're folklore now. So no,
I don't think
I could give them up.
We talked about the George Graham era and our People's Poll show yesterday. So anybody that hasn't had a listen, we're talking about watching paint dry. James gives a great rundown on George Graham's Premier League career, Arsenal, Leeds, Tottenham, and what have you. Bungs et al. But you remember those years. Like as a West Ham fan, I've seen some bad times. It makes you sit back and you know what? That's why I'm happy with 8th and 9th because I've been relegated, been in the Championship.
Spurs 97 to 2004 is so much worse than what it is right now.
Yeah.
Unquestionably, so much worse. At least there are still individual players there like Son, etc. And you hope there's belief in the development of people like Ryan Sessegnon, for example. It just feels like a long way off. But Spurs fans of my age and older would have seen a lot worse. That football club between that period was going absolutely nowhere other than the odd individual would have a great day like Ginola, for example, or Teddy when he returned for the second spell in 2001.
Yep.
No, we're not into that deep shit. I mean that team several times. 97, 98. I mentioned it when we talked about George Graham. Like that team before Graham took over should have got relegated, and that team had attacking players of Ginola, Ferdinand, Armstrong, Everson, Raul Fox. Jose Dominguez, Spurs fans will remember. There were some attacking talent in that squad. My God, defensively under Christian Gross.
Bad.
We used to run out of gas. I remember we were losing Gross's first game in charge. We lost 6-1 at home to Chelsea. We were the better side in the first half. Went in at 1-1, thinking we're going to win the game. Absolutely
destroyed.
Half hour later, I was walking out of the ground. It's awful.
Yeah. Prediction for this midweek game.
For Spurs?
Yeah, Norwich at home. You're confident you're going to win tomorrow night?
Yeah, it have to be. To be. I think it'll be tight though. I can see it being like a 2-0, 2-1. I just don't see Spurs. I feel like there was a little bit of freedom when Mourinho come in. Like there were goals being scored. It helped that Harry was amongst them as well. I feel like that freedom and expression that was there, a little bit of uplifting has already been drained out of them. I'm concerned about Son's positioning, as I'd mentioned on the podcast last night, because I feel it's really restricting him, and he's the outstanding attacking goal-scoring talent in that squad. And I think it would be beneficial at the moment if he went back through the middle. I understood at the weekend what he tried to do with playing Lo Celso in a deeper position, and he did say it himself. Mourinho was trying to get more attacking players into the team to create, because the goal scorers aren't there. That's common sense. Get more creative players on the pitch to try and create goal scoring opportunities for those who are less able than Kane just to smash one from 25 yards or what have you. And I know what he's trying to do now with Ben Davies, because he made that very clear after the Southampton fixture in terms of how essential he would be to how he wants his Tottenham to play. Davies also is not far away. It's just not how I want my Tottenham to play.
No.
But I'm going to have to give him this chance to see what that looks like, I think. And until, to be honest, 9 months from now, I don't think there's any real judgment that can be made other than me sitting there every week and going, that was shit, that was shit, that was shit. The game at Southampton is more important than the game tomorrow night.
Yep.
For the fans really need that FA Cup run and believe there's a chance of winning it.
It's funny how, even for me, like if you said to me, what would you rather take, a victory tomorrow against Leicester or win against West Brom in the Cup? I'd take the Cup. I feel like we'll be all right to get out of the league, but I want to see us get to the final.
Your position's a little bit different.
A little, but I'd still, right here, right now, I'd take the Cup. If it was the next round, the 5th round, or maybe, and we hadn't picked up any more points in the league, I'd think a little differently. But right now, it's Leicester away. I want that Cup win.
Here's a Twitter question that we didn't get yesterday, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Go
So
on.
would you take winning the cup and getting relegated?
Oh, would I take winning the cup and get relegated?
I reckon most West Ham fans would.
I would. I need to think about it. My gut initial reaction is probably yes. Probably yes. But that league, the Championship, we're going to talk about it on Clash of the Correspondents. Nice little segue into promoting that. That's a brutal league, the Championship. Look at Leeds right now. I mean,
And West Brom lost at home to Stoke last night.
Yeah. It's a brutal league. I'd like to think, do you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll drop down and we'll have enough to get back out of it. But I don't know. There is a fear of going down to the Championship because it's a tough league to get out of. But then trophy on the board, the glory of a day out at Wembley and all of that stuff. I'd take that experience of that day out at Wembley. We've been it's not the too distant past that we've been in the Championship and got out 7 years ago. I'd take the trophy, a year in the Championship or a couple of years in the Championship and come back. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I think that links to what I've said about the Spurs Champions League nights is, in spite of say like Wigan and Portsmouth, what they've had in the last, Portsmouth especially bad with the administration stuff. They wouldn't give up that cup win in 2008, and Wigan fans wouldn't give up the day they had against Man City, and they got relegated. Was it 3 days later? I think.
Yeah.
No, you can't take that away from fans, and I think I dig you all the time, don't I? Was it 40 years, no trophy.
Yes.
I'm not one to,
No, exactly.
I'm well aware that mine's going at 12 years, which is not good enough. But yeah, that's a long time.
But I always say there's only 3 or 4 trophies that are up for grabs. 4 if you're in Europe, 3 if you're not. It's not like
when it's getting worse and harder, isn't it?
Yeah. When Liverpool's reserves and Man City's reserves are as strong as they are.
Well, it's one for a people's poll as well. But I think eventually, one of the things I wanted to discuss if FA Cup replays had been voted in was the idea of perhaps the European clubs not going into the Carabao Cup as well.
It's been talked about.
Suggestion.
Yeah, potentially.
And it would guarantee different winners of the competition, would guarantee different entrants into the Europa League the following year.
Yeah, maybe. But it changed the dynamic of the debate about how long since you won a trophy. Then everyone would be like, well, you only won the FA Cup because no one else was in it and stuff. I think everyone should be in it. I don't know. Or the Carabao Cup. I mean, it doesn't get the most
but like
credit
Guardiola
anyway.
said the other day, didn't he? He said, you should scrap it. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, when you've won it in 6 weeks and you're there parading the trophy around Wembley, do remind me of that, Guardiola. Yeah.
We'll see. We talked briefly there about the Championship. Do you want to tell everybody what we got the rest of the week? And one of the shows is a Championship-focused show. Yeah,
so Sky tomorrow will be looking at where we're at in terms of final decisions of how many Liverpool players exactly we'll be ploughing in
4
Thursday night. We'll also talk captaincy for the Wednesday night games, which in fairness I guess is pretty straightforward now for Jamie Vardy owners. It still has to be, doesn't it? So I don't think many people will have Spurs assets. Thursday, really looking forward to Clash of the Correspondents with Dara at the Tinkermen and FPL Terrier.
Mark's never been on.
It's something we've been trying to organise for
Huddersfield
quite a while.
obviously got relegated in the first season we were doing the show before Clash of the Correspondents became a thing. So looking forward to having Mark on because it's a fresh face.
Fulham and Huddersfield play each other in the Championship, not this weekend, but the following one. So we'll look at that. We'll talk a little bit about Leeds, West Brom, Brentford as well, and the challenges. But obviously mainly to catch up with the two guys, see what's changed. I'm really fascinated to speak to Mark in terms of where he feels he's at with like the Cowley brothers and now in charge at Huddersfield, who have been linked to West Ham further down the line potentially. And obviously Fulham now, with the way West Brom and Leeds are slipping, are right back in the mix.
Come on, Scotty Parker. Gotta love him.
I mean, everyone likes the day out on the Thames. I mean, the away end's still shit. You feel like you're going onto a building site. But yeah, it's a good day out. You just think,
Our pre-season, I went there pre-season, right? We took 4,000 to that.
You thought Allaire was great.
He was decent that day, but then we were playing a second string team. So there you go. That's the content coming out for the rest of the week.
Oh, Friday, main podcast again.
We will be because there's no rest for the wicked, and we'll have had the full week. Well, bar the Liverpool double game week stuff, but we don't talk about them. It's done.
Stick the triple captaincy on who you want.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to Tot&HAM. Do stay tuned for all the rest of the shows. Hit like, subscribe, share. Get the notification bell going on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube and anywhere else. And if you can, do share the podcast with all your FPL playing friends. Other than that, it leaves me to say nothing but ciao for now.
Cue music, man child. Come you Spurs. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, go on. Spurs do well.
The Fantasy Football Show.